Good morning, Year 11 Advanced. You would by now hopefully have watched our first video, which is on Hapara as logistics of our term. Now, there were a couple of little things I just wanted to clear up in terms of that. Firstly, I didn't get quite to the rubric section of our Hapara page. So this is where your notice of assessment and marking rubric will be. Now, obviously, we'll present that to you at a particular date and you'll sign a register and we'll do all those things, but that's where you'll find that. As you can see there, not yet. Your English Advanced Stage syllabus, okay, is there. And then down here, the Matrix website has some fantastic resources. So that's something that you can go back to often. Now, in terms of the work, my aim is this, and I'd love feedback on this as we go, but we'll have week 1, week 2, week 3, and so forth, and there'll be one document of activities that you work through. So there's no 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, depending on how many lessons and activity things that we do, just one document. So let's just go into here. Your week instructions will be in navy blue, and that will be there. That's what we're recording right now. Now, any resources for the lesson will be here. And so there may be quite a few different things. For instance, there's the feedback from assessment 1, because you're getting that back today, and I'll do a screencastify on that feedback as well. Okay, there's what's the difference between a narrative and a story, or from Matrix Education. Okay, and there's some information here also on what is context and how we use context. So that gives you a bit of an idea and a guide of what there is. Now, there's 2 documents for each week. Firstly is the Brave New World chapter analysis document. And that's the first one I want to take you through. Basically, this document won't change. It's got questions for every single chapter that I'd like you to be answering. So work on this for the first 15 minutes of every lesson that you have. You should be working on this in your own time as well. Don't expect that you'll be able to do all your English classwork just in your class period of time. That's not how the HSC works. You do have to put in extra effort and extra study time, and that's part of that, okay? So for week 1, my expectation is that you have chapters 1 and 2 completed. So let's just jump into that and have a look at what the structure is and what it looks like and what I may expect from that. So reading for understanding first, read the questions and then go back to them as you're reading. Put margins. So I hope that, as you've been reading, you've been putting little tags in different spots of, that could be a relevant bit of information. It's okay if you haven't, and it's okay if, you have to go back and forth a few times. That's all totally normal when you're analysing a text. So you've got these questions. So chapter 1, what is the purpose of the Hatchery and Conditioning Centre? What does the director mean when he says that particulars, as everyone knows, make for virtue and happiness, generalities and intellectually necessary evils? What is Bokanovsky's process? What is the purpose? What is social presentation? Predestination? What does the hatchery purpose keep why does it keep some embryos from developing high intelligence? Okay, so they're very much just getting us to understand the text. I'm not going to read through all the questions, but you would be answering those in full sentences, and where possible, the better, I guess, your results will be in terms of your understanding is if you're pulling information from the text and even using quotes to back up what you're trying to say. So that's the first sort of 15 minutes of every lesson. You'll be working on that in first week, chapters 1 and 2. And we'll gauge how you're going with that, and then we'll move on from there in terms of week 2 and so forth. Now, the week 1 activities, as I said, one document each week. Let's open that up. So this is the structure. Have a cover page, and then you'll be able to click into each of these. So you've got an introduction there to read, and I've just taken you through some information and some of the things to think about in terms of your unit. I'm not going to reread that. I know that you can all read that yourself. So then we have an overview of what you're doing. So feedback on assessment 1, we're going to look at our feedback. We're going to ask any questions and listen to the screencast on the feedback. Okay. Number 2, each lesson you use the 15 minutes for the chapter questions. And I've put a link in here to the chapter questions just in case you were to lose Hapara for some reason. But best bet is to be continuing to do that during the workspace so we can see what you're doing. Okay, and then complete the activities 1,